You never know which day will be your last, and today is the day. There's no better day. Even if it's not a huge leap today, take the first step.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is the new Carganilla online variety entertainment podcast. Leading off, your host, Paul Carganilla.
Hello, I'm Paul Carganilla, and I am absolutely thrilled to welcome you to the Carganilla Online Variety Entertainment Podcast, or COVE podcast for short. This is a new weekly variety podcast in which my friends and I will fill your podcast feed with a wide variety, a big range of entertainment offerings, such as, but not limited to, music, poetry, dramatic readings, special guest interviews, and so much more. I also hope to offer thoughts and insights that might inspire you in different aspects as well, not just through the arts, but through positive conversations, encouraging or thought-provoking subjects along the way to make this show not just something that entertains you, but also a show that enriches your life in some way, raises the positive vibrations throughout your days, weeks, months, in some form or another. As kind of like an audio throwback to the old variety shows of the past, each COVE episode will offer a new mixed bag of positive things to listen to on your drive, your walk, your jog, at work, washing the dishes, however, whenever you enjoy your podcasts. I hope you'll subscribe and bring our new variety show with you. It's going to be a box of chocolates for your ears. Also important to note, the audio from each episode is actually pulled from a YouTube live stream on the Vodacity Network YouTube channel. So if you'd like to go above and beyond, not just listen to, but watch the show, the video version is available as well. And you can find a link to that playlist in the show notes. Now, this first episode here will focus mainly on introductions. You'll get to know everything about me and my producer Craig Jackman, but along the way, in upcoming episodes, I'll be joined by various friends and my family members as well. Our COVE community is composed of just an amazing cast of brilliant talent, skilled performers with wonderful personalities, and most importantly, just really good people. I cannot wait for you to meet them all. And, well, that's a nutshell introduction of what to expect from this brand new show. And I thought it would be appropriate to kick off the brand new show with a song from one of my favorite singer-songwriters, Joshua Radine. The song's called A Brand New Day. But I'll invite producer Craig in here to give you a better, more professional introduction to the song than that.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. What a great event that we are doing today with, getting this podcast started. Welcome each and every one of you, and thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us and be a part of it. Now, the song that Paul is going to be doing in just a moment, the song is about waking up one morning to find your shoulders lighter because you're no longer in love with your ex and you can move on. From the hit album Simple Times, this is Joshua Radine's Brand New Day.
As modestly performed.
As
live
performed by
show.
Paul Carganilla.
Some kind of magic happens late at night when the moon smiles down at me and bathes me in its light. I fell asleep beneath you in the tall blades of grass. When I woke, the world was new. I never had to ask. It's a brand new day. The sun is shining. It's a brand new day. For the first time in such a long, long time, I know I'll be okay. Most kind of stories save the best part for last. And most stories have a hero who finds you make your past your past. Yeah, you make it past your past. It's a brand new day. The sun is shining. It's a brand new day. For the first time in such a long, long time, I know I'll be okay. This cycle never ends. You gotta fall in order to mend. It's a brand new day. The sun is shining. It's a brand new day. For the first time in such a long, long time, I know I'll be okay. Thank you. I love that song. I love that artist. Check him out if you're not familiar with any of his stuff. Joshua Ray Dean. He's a good listen. If you like that kind of acoustic guitar kind of music. Let's bring Craig back in because I need him to time me for what we're going to do as you meet my different friends that are going to make up the shows and the episodes here on the podcast. I'm going to ask everybody to do this challenge, which is tell us everything about yourself in 60 seconds or less.
Oh boy.
And as this is the first episode and I am the host, I'm going to be the first guinea pig to try and do that. If you're listening live, make sure, just pretend you don't know anything about me. And I'm going to try to tell you everything there is to know about me in 60 seconds or less.
All right. And I have my timer out, ready to go.
Okay.
Here we go in 3, 2.
I was born and raised in Southern California, Ventura County to be exact, in a creative household. My parents were both musicians. They actually met in band class in college. Super cute. I played a lot of baseball growing up, but focused on the arts once I hit high school. Senior year, I was king of the nerds, drum major of the marching band. I played trumpet, co-president of the choir program, historian of the theater program, and homecoming king of the nerds. In junior college, I really fell in love with the theater and decided to focus my efforts on a career as an actor. Side note, I met Jamie, the angel who would later become my wife, in my first college acting class. I competed on the Moorpark College speech and debate team for 2 seasons and earned 5 national gold medals in oral interpretation. These were like acting and storytelling tournaments, basically on the college level. And I earned my associate's degree and then was accepted to UCLA for their theater program, but I was only there for a brief time because when I started there, I also started with a private acting, film and television acting coach, and he explained to me that having a theater degree wouldn't really get me any professional acting jobs. It all depended on your skill and what casting was looking for. That made a lot of sense to me, so I left school to focus on getting professional acting jobs and was hired as a performer in my first Disneyland show in early 2005. So for the next 15 years then, I performed as an actor, improviser, singer, comedian, MC in a number of different stage productions and countless special events at Disneyland and in the California Adventure Park. I made so many lifelong, talented, skilled performer friends there. So thankful for my time there. During those years, on the side, I took up independent filmmaking as a hobby and learned the ins and outs of screenwriting, directing, producing, and editing digital media. With the help of many talented friends and a community of amazing supporters, I created 2 web series, 2 short films, several music videos, a documentary, and a full-length feature film. I was also DJing weddings as a side hustle from 2008 till COVID, and I also got married in 2008. My amazing wife, Jamie, is an absolutely beautiful, breathtaking, and incredible singer-songwriter. She sings professionally, teaches voice lessons, and is an acting coach for child actors. She is also a police officer. In 2016, my friends and I started Polly's Picnic, a thing in a place with people. This was like an underground creative dojo in which audiences would gather to watch and support my friends and I as we tried a variety of scary new performance materials like stand-up comedy, improv comedy, music, dramatic readings, and more. We performed wherever we could find a space, dance studios, backyards, breweries, etc. And we had 20 of these live shows, and then COVID landed and shut all performers down. That's when my skilled performer friends and brilliant technological producers put our heads together and pivoted to bring these wild variety shows that we were creating to our audiences through Zoom in a production called Polly's Online Variety Show. And that's how this core COVE community really came together. We were performing music, doing improv comedy, creating videos together in a brand new virtual environment. And most importantly, in a time where artists could not perform and the world was in silos, we were connecting with each cast member, every member of our live audience when we couldn't connect in any other way. That's how a family or VAMLY was forged on YouTube on the Vodacity network. Our cast members launched many new shows in that time, and several still continue on the Vodacity network today. Back in 2020, I picked up the guitar and started to learn some chords, fell in love with it, and as you can see, I'm still on my guitar learning journey today. And then rewind to 2017. Side note, pivot, tired of the financial insecurities that came with being a theme park actor, I made a completely wild professional pivot and became a 911 dispatcher at a municipal police department. I soon then promoted to be the department's public information officer, and now for my day job, I produce media in the form of public service announcement videos, infographics. I manage the department's overall information sharing and all social media accounts. In my spare time, I love hanging out with my family and exploring new creative ventures. I love collecting factory-sealed VHS tapes of all my favorite older movies before they become extinct. And I love finding and collecting screen-used props from my favorite movies in online auctions. I have a deep-seated interest in the Titanic and love researching everything about it. And James Cameron's 1997 film is one of my absolute favorites. I'm happy to admit with no shame, I am a Titaniac. And we're almost there. And this is my favorite part. Along this journey, Jamie and I were blessed with 2 little miracle humans. Our daughter, Everly, just turned 9. She's the sweetest little piano player you'll ever meet. And also already an established professional actress with a huge movie coming out soon. And our son, Noah, is 5. He's the cutest little curly-headed bear you'll ever see. He is also a professional actor, having done several commercials so far, and he's obsessed with music. He just had his first piano lesson a couple days ago and loved it. And that is everything you could possibly know about me in 60 seconds or less. Right, Craig?
Okay, not bad. Probably could work a little bit on the timing, but it was 5 minutes, 56 seconds, 0.88.
Okay, so everything you could possibly know about me in under 6 minutes.
Okay, so the 6 is there.
I guess it works, right? Okay. Well, I mentioned I just picked up the guitar a couple of years ago, and when I started playing songs by myself here online, a lot of people kind of caught on that there was a theme, and I was playing mostly like female pop songs from the 90s and 2000s. But there's a reason for that. And that is when you're learning guitar, it's really important to find songs with easy chords and just a few chords. And all pop vocalists that are males sing really high, and I'm a bass, if you couldn't tell. And so I was able to sing the ladies' songs an octave down, and I always chose the ones with simple chords. So it kind of the female pop from that era kind of became how I started out on guitar. And so I wanted to kind of incorporate that into the first episode. And so I will let Craig tell you what my next tune is.
Well, it's interesting that you say that, because this song that you're going to now do is considered a mid-tempo dance pop song with an influence from the pop rock and new jack swing genres. Now, this female artist said that her mother found this song for her to sing. It was from an 8-track demo that was in the trash. So she listened to it. And this full-time choreographer and cheerleader for the Los Angeles Lakers liked it so much, she recorded it. And within 10 days of the release, the song sold 1 million copies. And the song was, this is a good one, the song was originally recorded in a bathroom, and in the master of the recording, someone in the next apartment can be heard yelling, "Shut up!"
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
This is the third song released on her debut album, Forever Your Girl. Paul is going to now do Paula Abdul's Straight Up.
Thank you, Craig. Lost in a dream, I don't know which way to go. If you are all that you seem, baby, I'm moving too slow. But I've been a fool before, wouldn't like to get my love caught in the slamming door. How about some information, please? Straight up now, tell me, do you really want to love me forever? Or am I caught in a hit and run? Straight up now, tell me, is it gonna be you and me together? Or are you just having fun? Time is standing still. I'm waiting for some small clue. I keep getting chills when I think your love is true. But I've been a fool before, wouldn't like to get my love caught in the slamming door. How about some information, please? Straight up now, tell me, do you really want to love me forever? Or am I caught in a hit and run? Straight up now, tell me, is it gonna be you and me together? Or are you just having fun? You are so hard to read. You play hide and seek with your true intentions. But if you're only playing games, I'll just have to say bye 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 bye. Do you love me? Do you love me? love me. 'Cause I've been a fool before, wouldn't like to get my love caught in the slamming door. Are you more than hot for me, or am I a page in your history book? I don't mean to make demands, but the word and the deed go hand in hand. How about some information, please? Straight up now, tell me, do you really wanna love me forever? Or am I caught in a hit and run? Straight up now, tell me, is it gonna be you and me together? Or are you just having fun? Are you just having fun? Doing the 90s, 2000s ladies pop. I'll give it back someday, but I'm still using it. We're going to bring Craig back in, and as Craig has been the producer of this show began when I actually got COVID for the first time. I was quarantined. I mean, this show as a podcast that you're listening to begins right now, tonight. But the throwback version from the Vodacity Network began when I was in the COVE. I was in a quarantine because of COVID, and I just decided to do some solo shows on my own from a hotel room and play some guitar. And producer Craig Jackman was like, "Hey, do you need some help? Can I, help you out in any way?" And that happened, and we've done about 38 episodes of that show now.
Yeah.
As we pivot to this one, and here you are. Thank you for being here always.
Well, thank you. It's fun. This is great. And what I loved about it is it's basically you. I mean, it was to start with, and I know you've incorporated several of us into it, but just like you and your musings, just raw, not anything else, just how you felt at that time, some music, and then when you brought in people, talk with them, just one-on-one, and adding a little, as you like to call it, poetry or poetry.
Poetry or
poetry.
Poems. Poems or poems?
Poems, as we would sometimes say.
Yes.
And it evolved. That's a perfect word, it evolved into where we're starting tonight.
And tonight, as I mentioned earlier, it's just an intimate Craig and I get to know you, get to know what the show's going to kind of feel like. But as we mentioned, we're going to bring in so many friends along the way, and you never know what you're going to get with any of the shows that are coming down the pike. It's going to be just a grab bag, just like what's that popular thing that kids are doing now? Like you go and you buy toys, but you don't know what the toy is. It's
a grab bag. That's basically it. You reach in and you grab a bag or a box that's unmarked.
That's what each episode, I want you to get excited when you see a new episode in your podcast feed, because you don't know exactly what you're going to get, but hopefully that you're going to enjoy it and be entertained and hopefully inspired in some way. But thank you, Craig, for being here. And as I teased, that every new person you meet along the way in this podcast would get to try what I just tried with the tell me everything about you in 60 seconds or less. Craig, are you ready for me to count you down?
All right, let me give this baby a shot. Go for it.
And 3, 2.
Welcome. Hi, I was born and raised here in California, so a native Californian. And it all started back when I was a boy, of course, like anybody else. And, I caught the performing bug while listening to music and wanted to become a radio DJ. And I loved listening to radio, loved listening to the way that the announcers talked up the music. So I wanted to get into that. So after high school, Loera High School, Hail Saxons, I I began doing shifts on college radio stations at Chapman College and then eventually at Cal State Fullerton College. Eventually, I ended up on the radio professionally, not only being a DJ, but also doing news, talk, and producing several shows. And then finally, I got my official word that I was in radio. I got fired. You're never in radio until you get fired. So now I can say that I was officially in radio. Then after I came back, I did a brief, Jungle Cruise at Disneyland along with Adventure Frontierland attractions. I was invited to audition on the stage, and that's when I got the acting bug, a really big bite from that one. And then I had fun performing in several plays like Dracula, Christmas Carol, recently The Jewtalion, Little Mermaid, just to mention a few. And I'm also an event host and MC for a variety of live company events, online productions. And now I get to be here with you and have helped the Vaudacity Network as a regular performer, doing poetry, singing, doing some improv, talk show host again for the variety of the programs here. And I'm a proud member of SAG-AFTRA, so, trying to pursue that, but all at the same time having fun. And just, I'm glad to be here and to be here with you, Paul, to help launch this amazing project.
Clocks in. I'm glad you're here too. 1 minute and 58 seconds.
Okay.
You did a lot better than I did. Did a lot better than me. Well, as Craig mentioned, at the very beginning of these solo shows that I started that eventually brought us down this road, I wanted to feature poetry too, and not just famous poets, but friends that write poetry. And we're going to do a lot of that on this podcast. If anybody out there who's listening is a poet and would like to have their work read aloud on the podcast, send us an email. The email is in the show notes, and we would love to read your work in the future. But tonight, Craig and I both have poems that I think have been our favorites. And that is a big joke when he says poetry. We always say, do you say poems or poems? Are they poems or poems? But Craig, what did you decide on for this inaugural COVE podcast?
Well, for my poem, I chose something, some of you may know who this artist is. It's a playful presentation, and especially since today is the very first one, so we kind of talked a little before the show about, the jitters, we're excited and a little nervous. So this particular poem is a playful presentation of fears, struggles, and uncertainties that haunt all of us at night, and probably during the day too. Now, as noted on the website poemanalysis.com, through this approach, this poet crafted a poem that allows people across similar boundaries to share the commonality of experiencing nighttime overthinking in a way that shows connection and allows us to see the humor in the midst of the frustration. And in this, he unites and entertains in spite of the trouble. So, nervous? Yes. Overthinking? Yes. This is from the album A Light in the Attic. This is What If by SHEL Silverstein.
As interpreted by Craig Jackman, ladies and gentlemen.
Last night, while I lay thinking here, some what-ifs crawled inside my ear and pranced and partied all night long and sang their same old what-if song. What if I'm dumb in school? What if they've closed the swimming pool? What if I get beat up? What if there's poison in my cup? What if I start to cry? What if I get sick and die? What if I flunk that test? What if green hair grows on my chest? What if nobody likes me? What if a bolt of lightning strikes me? What if I don't grow taller? What if my head starts getting smaller? What if the fish won't bite? What if the wind tears up my kite? What if they start a war? What if my parents get divorced? What if the bus is late? What if my teeth don't grow straight? What if I tear my pants? What if I never learn to dance? Everything seems well, and then the nighttime what-ifs strike again.
Ladies and gentlemen, Craig Jackman's interpretation of What If by SHEL Silverstein.
And it was a recommendation by my girlfriend, Susan Kuhn. Just because I was telling her as we were, preparing for this show and last night, I'm a little nervous.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, the what ifs do kind of creep in, but you know what? Everything seems well. So, yay! This is a great way to start.
I think so too. Great selection, and I think it was a perfect way to christen the new podcast with poetry and a lot of second guessing, and maybe not second guessing in a negative way, but just thinking and considering all the what ifs, for a better term, on any new adventure. And we're going to touch on that in one of the next coming episodes that we have coming up. It's about facing the nerves and the fear of taking a new plunge, starting a new adventure, and just stepping forth with the faith that you're gonna be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Growing pains and stretching the comfort bubble it's always scary, but you got to do it to grow. To
grow and to enjoy.
Exactly.
Because actually, and what you just said applies to what I think is your poem as well.
Oh, yeah. So this is a classic. It's been read a million times, but on this brand new path, on this brand new journey in the road, this popped into my mind, and I thought I gotta do that one on the first episode. So ladies and gentlemen, here is Robert Frost's The Road Not Taken. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both and be one traveler. Long I stood and looked down one as far as I could to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear, though as for that the passing there had warned them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh. Somewhere ages and ages hence, two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. Robert Frost.
I love that poem.
We need to have an episode, one of these episodes, and when I say we need to have one, we're going to, where we take our favorite poems and we actually talk about them and break them down. Like, we don't have time to do it in every episode, so maybe we'll just have little asides and we'll all bring our favorite poems and we'll all kind of break them down and talk about, just kind of analyze them. I think that'd be fun.
Oh yeah. I mean, because so many, like songs, so many people have different interpretations of what they mean.
Yes. And we've actually talked about this next song on previous shows. And what is the man coming home from? I'm not quite sure. But I think a little bit of Googling and research leads to the end. But we're going to end this first inaugural episode with a song that is very important to me and my family. And producer Craig will introduce.
Absolutely. The song was written in 1973 by Irwin Levine and L. Russell Brown. Now, Brown said the song was based on a story he read about a soldier headed home from the Civil War who wrote his beloved that if he was still welcome, she should tie a handkerchief around a certain tree. He said the handkerchief was not particularly romantic, so he and Mr. Levine changed it to a yellow ribbon. And the symbol of a yellow ribbon became widely known in civilian life in the 1970s as a reminder that an absent loved one, either in the military or in jail, would be welcomed home on their return. And the song went to number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 for 4 weeks, selling 3 million records in the U.S. in 3 weeks. That's wow. And it was a major number 1 hit worldwide for Tony Orlando and Dawn. And Paul is going to share with us Tie a Yellow Ribbon.
Thank you, Craig. This one's for my grandpa and my mama. Mama and grandpa. I'm coming home, I've done my time. I've got to know what is and isn't mine. If you received my letter telling you I'd soon be free, then you'll know just what to do if you still want me. If you still want me. Oh, tie a yellow ribbon round the old oak tree. It's been 3 long years. Do you still want me? If I don't see a ribbon round the old oak tree, I'll stay on the bus and forget about us. Put the blame on me. If I don't see a yellow ribbon round the old oak tree. Bus driver, please look for me, 'cause I couldn't bear to see what I might see. I'm really still in prison, and my love, she holds the key. A simple yellow ribbon's what I need to set me free. I wrote and told her, please tie a yellow ribbon around the old oak tree. It's been 3 long years. Do you still want me? If I don't see a ribbon round the old oak tree, I'll stay on the bus, forget about us, and put the blame on me. If I don't see a yellow ribbon round the old oak tree. Now the whole damn bus is cheering, and I can't believe I see 100 yellow ribbons round the old oak tree. Yes, the whole damn bus is cheering, and I can't believe I see 100 yellow ribbons round the old oak tree.
I love that.
Thanks, buddy. It's a very special song to me and my family. And I just want to close our first inaugural episode of COVE Podcast with that one. Before we do actually sign off, I just want to thank everybody again for listening, everyone who's in the live stream for being here. And as we mentioned after Craig's poem, trying new things, it's scary. It can cause a lot of late night thinking, overthinking, what can sometimes feel like unnecessary stresses when you're reaching out, stepping out, embarking on an adventure that your heart is calling you to do, that you don't know if there's a safety net, that you don't know where it'll go, if it'll become something that people embrace, or if you're going to eventually feel like it failed. But when you have an idea in your heart, as this podcast was for me pre-COVID, like 4 years ago, I wanted to do a podcast like this, but the technology wasn't in place, the community wasn't in place, and it just wasn't the right time. And now I'm at a point in my life where I woke up one day and I went, now is the time to do this. And it is scary. It is scary as heck. We always encourage here on the Vaudacity Network, spreading your wings, trying new things, stretching the comfort bubble, even if it's scary and you have no idea how it'll turn out. You just got to remember that you don't grow without these steps. You don't move forward without the fear. If you stay in your comfort bubble and you don't act on what your heart is calling you to do, you'll never get there. You'll never experience that. And our time here on this planet it's finite. And you never know which day will be your last, and how tragic to meet the end, or to reach that day when your heart stops beating and you never listened to it calling you, or you never did that thing that your heart wanted you to do, that you were passionate about, that you always wanted to try. Today is the day. There's no better day. Even if it's not a huge leap today, take the first step. Do the first small thing that takes you down that road, that starts you on that journey, just like this podcast has been this evening as we record it. I just want to encourage everybody to listen to your heart, and don't just listen to it. Do something about it. Thank you again, everyone, for listening through our pilot episode of COVE Podcast. We've launched this show with the first 3 episodes, so stay tuned for episode 2, Follow Your Heart, featuring special guests Darren Ingram and Wendy Walker, ready to go now. However, before we go, I would like to thank and welcome all of our first patrons who supported this 3-episode launch by joining the COVE Patreon community in June. Emily Thatcher, Kristen Serona Farron, Charity Swanson, Krista King, Kelsey Blaine Gibson, Adam Valencia, Diana Nicole, Elisa Tapia, Angelica Bolschweiler, Jessica Marie Coleman, Anna Gianavola, Gina Dobbs, and Meryl Milkey. Thank you all so much for believing in this from the very beginning. I am so grateful for you. And I hope to see everybody at episode 2, Follow Your Heart, right now. Let's do it.